Hi there, friends and family. This week we are talking about social awareness. Really, the last 4 weeks of school, we've been focusing on ourselves, and that's an important place to start. But really, life is about relationships. And the next component of our social emotional learning competencies is social awareness. I have a really simple task for everyone this week, and that's just to have a conversation with someone. Have a conversation with someone you don't normally have a conversation with. Maybe it's someone you see around school, or for the adults watching these who aren't students, maybe it's with a colleague or a coworker you haven't really gotten to know, or a neighbor. But I want you to have a conversation with someone you don't really know. Or have a conversation with someone you do know that you've never really had a deep conversation with. We often have so many acquaintances, even people we would consider friends, who we don't really know in any intimate way. We don't have a real deep relationship with, and that's okay. But I want you to take another step to try to really understand someone. That's the first step toward empathy, and I talk about empathy all the time because I think it's the greatest human endeavor and the highest of human potential. I've already said that on these videos, I know. But that to me is really social awareness and relationship skills that we'll get into later. So we're not even going to spend a lot of time this week talking about different communication strategies or what you need to ask a person you're talking to. I just want you to have a conversation with someone you don't normally talk to. And I encourage you to seek someone out who maybe doesn't look like you or doesn't believe the same things you believe. Now, I'm not asking you to challenge anyone else's beliefs. I'm not asking you to try to impose your point of view on anyone else. I'm not asking you to agree with that other person either. I'm just asking you to have a conversation. Try to talk to someone and get to know them a little bit better. That can be a scary thing to do. So much of our interactions, so many of our interactions in daily life are so superficial. They're surface level. We talk about things like the weather or the news, and that's okay, but we often don't get any deeper than that. And I know something that's been really impactful for me is just talking to people. It's something I encourage my students to do all the time. Just talk to people. And again, talk to people who don't look like you or don't believe the same things you do or don't love the same way you do or don't identify the same way you do. I always find, even if I don't agree with someone, that it's a growing experience for me. And it helps me relate with and connect with other people better. It's the reason that I do a podcast and I interview people and I have the opportunity to sometimes talk to some really cool, everybody that I talk to is always enjoyable and it's always cool. And sometimes even if I'm just interviewing one of my friends, we get a lot deeper than we normally do in conversation. I always find out something about that person that I didn't know before, even if I considered us close before. And when I get an opportunity to talk to people who live in different areas and live lives that may seem dissimilar to mine. I always walk away feeling so good. Feeling like I've made a real connection with someone. So that's it. That's all I want for this week as we start looking at social awareness. Just try to get to know someone a little bit. Have one conversation. That's the first step in social awareness. Even on a broader sense. We can start small. Let's have another great week of school. Much love.